In what league? What league allows this?
They definitely making it their business to piss Caitlin off.
Very physical, and they're calling everything or they're missing calls.
WNBA referees just got suspended after being brutally exposed for targeting Caitlin Clark, and the league is in full-blown crisis mode. What started as a string of missed calls has now erupted into a full-scale scandal. Experts are calling it a disgrace to the sport, and fans are demanding changes before the league loses all credibility.
Can you tell me what kind of a move that Ryan Howard's doing here to Caitlin Clark?
They said it was just rookie treatment. That Caitlin Clark needed to earn the calls. But now, the truth is unraveling, and it's way uglier than anyone expected. This isn't about missed whistles anymore. This is about targeted treatment, clear bias, and the integrity of an entire league being called into question.
I felt like she finally was getting her legs back under her, no pun intended.
In her last 4 games, Caitlin Clark, arguably the most ball-dominant rookie in years, has gone to the foul line a total of 6 times. 6. For context, most star-level point guards in the league average 4 to 6 free throws per game, sometimes more. Caitlin's playing nearly 40 minutes running the offense, constantly attacked by defenders, and she's barely getting a whistle. That's not normal. That's not random.
A lot of NFL fans are going to be like, wait a minute, you can't do this. You can't do this to us.
And fans, they've noticed, big time. Experts have dropped bombshells exposing how brutal this treatment is. Their breakdown of a recent Fever vs. Wings game showed frame after frame of Clark being grabbed, shoved, and even groped. And the refs? Silent. No fouls. Nothing. A viral image of Ryan Howard literally clutching Clark's chest mid-play made its rounds online. That's not physical defense, that's insane. And still, no whistle.
Greatest hits compilation of multiple fouls that never freaking got called.
The ball handler, there's a grab, there's a hold.
There's a grab, there's hold.
There's another grab. I mean,
there's another grab.
All of those are fouls. Every single one of them.
And in that same game, ESPN's Rebecca Lobo and Ryan Ruocco were so fed up, they started calling out the fouls live on air. That's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul. They counted 4 consecutive fouls on Clark, none called, before the refs finally blew the whistle. If national commentators are breaking the unspoken rule of staying neutral, you know it's serious.
And this picture that I just came across, I'm like, what are we doing?
This was a huge turning point, because it wasn't just YouTubers and angry fans anymore, it was the actual broadcast team losing patience on national television, and that made it clear this isn't just sloppy officiating, this is something deeper, something deliberate, and yet the league stayed quiet.
She came out, it ain't been that long ago, like 2 weeks ago. Refereeing's pretty good in this league.
WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, just weeks before this outrage, had the nerve to say the officiating in the league was strong. Strong? While Caitlin Clark is getting held to the floor, slapped across the arms, and shoved out of plays? While she's getting wrestled off the ball without consequence? That's not strength. That's negligence.
What league? What league allows this? Can you tell me what kind of a move that Ryan Howard's doing here to Caitlin Clark?
It gets worse. There's footage of Jordan, Canada, literally holding Caitlin Clark on the ground to stop her from getting up and getting back in the play. No call, no tech, nothing. It's like the refs are wearing blindfolds when she's involved. And now fans, creators, and even analysts are saying it out loud. Caitlin Clark is being targeted.
How the F is someone supposed to score when this is what is being allowed to happen to Caitlin Clark on the regular?
Let's call it what it is. There is a system failure happening in front of our eyes. The referees aren't just missing calls, they are altering games. ESPN's broadcast team counted it, fans clipped it, YouTubers exposed it. People are done being silent.
Guys, crazy work. Crazy work.
And if Caitlin Clark dares speak up about it, she'll be fined. That's the twisted part. She's being punished, held back, and disrespected, and if she says a word, she's the one who'll pay. So the burden falls on the rest of us to say what she can't.
This is not okay, folks. This is not okay.
And now rumors are swirling that suspensions are coming. The WNBA may finally have to act after all the receipts have surfaced. That refs are under internal review, especially heading into the All-Star break. because the truth has gone viral, and once the spotlight's on, there's no hiding anymore. The question is, will the league fix this, or will they protect the problem?
The problem that a lot of us have with the referees is it's either very physical and they're calling everything, or they're missing calls. There seems to be inconsistencies in how the referees are calling certain games.
The internet didn't just react, it exploded. One by one, the clips started surfacing. Slow-mo videos, screenshots, zoom-ins from every angle. What they showed wasn't rough basketball. It was flat-out targeting, and people had receipts.
How the F is this defense? Is this the WNBA or NFL? Look, hold on now. NFL.
In one viral freeze frame, Caitlin Clark was getting grabbed across the chest, blatantly, on a live court, during play. And what happened? Nothing. Not a single whistle. Just play on. That image alone sparked outrage, and for good reason. You can't sell that as defense. That's not contesting a shot. That's crossing a line.
They're not taking the feedback of any fans, of anyone who is actually watching the game. They are taking feedback.
And it wasn't just one moment. The footage kept stacking up. Possession after possession where she's pulled, shoved, and knocked off balance. Arms wrapped around her waist like it's a wrestling match. Hands are all over her while she's trying to run the offense. These weren't light touches or standard contact. These were illegal holds, repeated, obvious, and consistently ignored.
What kind of defense is this?
People started breaking it all down. Play-by-play threads flooded social media, side-by-side images, full breakdowns of uncalled fouls, with timestamps and arrows. The consensus? This wasn't an accident. It wasn't just a couple of missed calls. It was a pattern. And it's been happening game after game.
The league is basically saying, it can be this physical. Let it be this physical.
One post summed it up perfectly. If this happened in a co-ed league, someone would be escorted out in handcuffs. And really, how is that not true? How are these kinds of grabs and holds just happening in professional basketball with no accountability?
And the referees, I guess, didn't call this? You didn't call this. What are we doing? What are we allowing in this league? By the way,
the silence from leadership only made it worse. The head of the league had recently praised officiating, calling it strong and consistent. That statement aged horribly, because while fans were watching Caitlin get beaten down, the people in charge pretended it wasn't happening. No acknowledgement, no follow-up, no visible consequences for the referees allowing it. Just silence. While the most high-profile rookie the league has seen in decades gets hammered night after night with no protection.
With the WNBA is it is physical to a fault. And they even say here that their ability to be physical legally is very different. I don't get that.
And it's not just about rough play. It's about what's allowed and what's not. Because when Clark gets hacked going to the rim, no call. When she's pushed out of bounds, nothing. When she gets held down and can't even get back on her feet to rejoin the play, still nothing. The whistle just disappears. Meanwhile, other players get those calls. They get to the line. They get the benefit of the doubt. So why doesn't she? That's the question everyone's asking. And the league's refusal to answer is only adding fuel to the fire.
Caitlin Clark was taking the ball up the court. She was the one who was creating a lot of these fast break buckets.
Instead of dealing with the officiating, there's been this weird shift in conversation. Suddenly, the focus is on how Caitlin isn't performing as well. That maybe others, players like Angel Reese or Paige Bueckers, are now better. As if she's somehow fallen off.
Caitlin Clark ended the game with 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals. Now, the 5 steals really stood out to me.
But let's look at the facts. Caitlin's been playing injured, on limited minutes, and still putting up numbers that most players would kill for. In that massive 102-83 win, she finished with 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals, and she did it while getting hammered on every drive and ignored by the officials all game.
Clapping at her right in her face, right to her face. Caitlin got some moxie now.
Not only that, she had the most viral moment of the night, clapping right in her opponent's face after a dominant sequence. That wasn't just about flair, that was frustration, that was power, that was a message. Even through all this, I'm still here, still producing, still better.
By the way, this is every game that Caitlin Clark plays.
But the noise doesn't stop. Every time she gets dragged down, the headlines shift. Someone else becomes the next big thing. But the numbers don't lie. The eye test doesn't lie, and no narrative can hide the fact that she's performing under pressure like no one else right now.
WNBA referees has a hidden agenda against Caitlyn, bro. It's just simple as that.
What's even more disturbing is how many people are now convinced this isn't random. That what's happening to Caitlyn on the court is intentional. That it's systematic. That the refusal to call fouls isn't just poor officiating, it's targeted mistreatment. People have started demanding that only outside officials be allowed to ref her games. Not out of favoritism, but for her safety. Because at this rate, it's only a matter of time before she gets seriously hurt.
It's something that has to change, and I'm just really confused why the WNBA hasn't gotten a handle on it.
And yet, nothing changes. No fines for reckless plays, no warnings issued, no public acknowledgement of the issue from the league, just silence. The kind of silence that speaks louder than any press conference. And it's not just fans anymore. The outcry is growing from everywhere. Commentators, analysts, even players have started pointing out how strange this all feels. The tension is rising, the scrutiny is getting heavier, and the league is running out of time.
Listening to them. They're not listening to the coaches, they're not listening to the players, they're not listening to the fans, they're listening to their stakeholders.
Because the more this drags on, the more obvious it becomes. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about bias. It's about accountability. And most of all, it's about protecting the players who make the game worth watching. Oh, it's heating up now, and I don't mean summer temperatures, I mean full-blown crisis mode inside the WNBA. Because after weeks of clips, calls, and chaos, something finally snapped.
And the referees was effing blind.
Referees are now under review. Yup. After all the missed fouls, the body checks, the blatant manhandling on national TV, it looks like the league may finally be doing what they should have done weeks ago, actually paying attention. Sources now suggest that multiple refs are being internally investigated. And it's not just because fans are yelling on social media, it's because ESPN got involved. And when the league's own broadcast partners start calling you out, yeah, you've got a serious problem.
Be real. Somebody said ref was just staring.
There's even talk, real talk, of suspensions coming right before the All-Star break. That's right, the people who were supposedly protecting the game might be getting benched themselves. Oh, the irony. And let's be honest, this isn't just about bad calls anymore. It's about the integrity of the league. When fans see their favorite player getting hacked to pieces and still not getting a whistle, something breaks. Not just the trust, but the willingness to show up.
There's clearly a problem, and from this article, I gained and reconfirmed with myself that not much is going to change. And not much is going to change until there's literally a shift in how they view the WNBA.
You can feel it now. The energy has shifted. The mood online, tense, ready, furious. People are saying if the league won't clean up the officiating, then they'll stop watching altogether. They're boycotting merch, canceling tickets. And not because they're anti-WNBA, but because they love the game and can't stomach watching it get disrespected like this. And it's not just about Caitlyn Clark anymore. That's the part people miss. Yes, she's the flashpoint, but this issue has lit a fuse under all of women's basketball. Because if they can do this to the league's most watched, most hyped, most valuable rookie, who can't they do it to?
The referees, are they ever going to call a foul? Y'all going to call a foul? Did you swallow your whistle?
Players, fans, and even former pros are saying the same thing now. This has to change. If it doesn't, this league risks not just bad headlines, but a total credibility collapse. That's the real threat. Not one player's injury, but the audience saying, yeah, no thanks, we're done.
Well, one could argue that misconduct was taking place on the court against Caitlyn Clark. Misconduct.
So what now? The ball's in the league's court, and frankly, they're fumbling it. But while they figure that out, we don't wait, because this is where the real momentum comes in. People aren't just mad, they're mobilizing. They're sharing clips, flooding timelines, tagging the league in every brutal foul and missed whistle. And yes, they're repping the movement. You've probably seen the Make Basketball Great Again shirts by now. Bright, bold, and unapologetically fed up. It's not just a slogan, it's a statement. A reminder that this game deserves better. That the fans deserve better. That Caitlyn Clark deserves better. Now here's the thing, this is just the beginning.
And not much is going to change until there's literally a shift in how they view the WNBA, how they view good basketball on the court. And I think that the fans are having a disconnect.
If the league thought this would die out, that fans would move on. They clearly don't know who they're dealing with. Because Caitlin Clark might not be the type to go on a public rant. But the people backing her, the ones filling arenas, setting ratings records, and calling out the BS, they're not going anywhere.
They definitely making it their business to piss Caitlin off.
We're not just watching the games anymore, we're watching the officials, the league office, the commissioner. Every move, every no call, every response, or lack of one is being recorded, shared, and remembered. You can feel it now. This matters. Not just for Clark, not just for Indiana, but for the future of women's sports. Because if you don't protect your biggest stars, who are you really protecting? This is more than just a few missed calls. It's a reckoning. And if they thought Caitlin Clark would stay quiet through it all, they were wrong. Smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.